Picture this. You've just achieved something incredible, a milestone you've been working towards for months, maybe even years. You should be on top of the world, but instead, a nagging voice in the back of your mind whispers, "You don't deserve this, you're a fraud, and it's only a matter of time before everyone finds out." Sound familiar? If so, you're not alone. This sneaky phenomenon, known as imposter syndrome, affects a staggering number of people, from high achievers to everyday folks like you and me. But what exactly is imposter syndrome, and how can we break free from its grip? In this video, you're going to find out exactly where your imposter syndrome comes from and actionable tips to get rid of it for good. You know what's wild? Even the most successful people out there, the ones we look up to, have dealt with feeling like a fraud. Take Maya Angelou. She's written so many amazing books, but every time she published a new one, she felt like she was fooling everyone. And Albert Einstein, the guy whose name is basically a synonym for genius, he called himself an involuntary swindler because he couldn't see how valuable his work was. Even Meryl Streep, one of the greatest actresses ever, has talked about feeling like she doesn't deserve her success. Isn't that mind-blowing? It just goes to show that imposter syndrome doesn't care about how successful you are. It can affect anyone. So if you've ever felt like you're not good enough, remember that you're not alone. Some of the most incredible people in history have been right there with you, fighting the same battle. But here's the thing, if they can overcome it, so can you. I'll show you how to kick imposter syndrome to the curb for good in just a minute. Before you deal with this problem, you need to know where it's coming from. Parenting styles and early life experiences may contribute to imposter syndrome. Overly critical or overly praising parents might create unrealistic expectations, making their children feel like they must always achieve perfection. To find out if your imposter syndrome comes from childhood experiences, ask yourself, did my parents have unrealistic expectations of me growing up? Were my accomplishments rarely acknowledged or celebrated by my family? Did I feel constant pressure to be perfect as a child to gain approval from my parents or caregivers? If you answered yes to any of these questions, your imposter syndrome may have roots in your upbringing. The desire for flawlessness can lead to a constant fear of failure or exposure as a fraud. This pressure can cause individuals to believe that anything less than perfect is unacceptable. Paradoxically, the fear of success might trigger imposter syndrome. Individuals may worry that achieving their goals will only raise expectations and increase the pressure to perform at an even higher level. Entering a new job, school, or social circle can bring about feelings of inadequacy and self-doubt due to unfamiliar surroundings and people. Imposter syndrome can feel worse because of stereotypes and unfairness in society. This is especially true for minorities who may already feel left out in some situations. For example, a woman working as an engineer might feel like she doesn't fit in, even though she's qualified and has done well in her job. She might think she only succeeded because of luck or affirmative action, not because of her skills. But the impact of imposter syndrome doesn't stop there. This sneaky phenomenon can seep into every corner of our lives, leaving us feeling unsure and unworthy in our relationships, careers, and even our own minds. In our personal lives, imposter syndrome can make us doubt our worthiness of love and affection. We might push away compliments or gestures of kindness, thinking, if they really knew me, they wouldn't feel this way. This can strain our bonds with friends, family, and romantic partners. At work, imposter syndrome can hold us back from reaching for promotions, taking on new projects, or sharing our ideas. We might toil away in silence, convinced that we're not qualified enough to speak up or take the lead. Over time, this can stunt our career growth and leave us feeling stuck and unfulfilled. Perhaps most insidiously, imposter syndrome can take a toll on our mental health. The constant self-doubt and fear of being found out can fuel anxiety, depression, and burnout. We might work ourselves to the bone, trying to prove our worth while never feeling like we've done enough. So, to ease things up a little, what do you call a fake noodle? An imposter. Here's the good news, you're not stuck with it. Let's move forward, armed with knowledge, and explore the practical steps and strategies that can help us overcome these feelings of self-doubt. The first step is to recognize when imposter syndrome is talking. It's that nagging voice in your head that tells you you're not good enough, that you're a fraud, that you don't deserve your success. Give it a name even. By acknowledging it, you're taking away its power to sneak up on you. You're shining a light on it, exposing it for what it is, a liar and a bully. Recognizing imposter syndrome is the first step to overcoming it. Don't let it lurk in the shadows of your mind. Call it out and face it head on. Talk about it with friends or mentors. You'll be surprised to find out how many people feel the same way. It's like when you share a problem and suddenly it doesn't seem so big anymore. Keep a victory log. Yeah, it might feel a bit weird at first, but jotting down your achievements helps you to remember your strengths and skills. It's like collecting evidence against the imposter claims in your head. Whenever you accomplish something noteworthy, whether it's nailing a presentation at work, getting a glowing review from a client, or even just making it through a particularly challenging day, write it down. No success is too small to celebrate. Over time, you'll gather an impressive collection of wins that you can look back on whenever you're feeling like a fraud. Think of your victory log as a personal highlight reel. It's a tangible reminder of all the times you've kicked ass and taken names. And trust me, those moments are worth remembering. So grab a notebook or start a document on your phone and get ready to give yourself some well-deserved props. Your inner imposter doesn't stand a chance against cold, hard evidence of your awesomeness. Stop the comparison game. This one's tough, especially with social media constantly bombarding us with images of seemingly perfect lives. It's all too easy to fall into the trap of comparing our behind-the-scenes struggles with everyone else's highlight reels. But remember, comparison is the thief of joy. It robs us of our peace, our contentment, and our ability to appreciate the unique beauty of our own journey. It's not about being better than anyone else. It's about being better than you were yesterday. Our inner dialogue can have a profound impact on how we perceive and respond to situations. Instead of allowing negative self-talk to dominate your thoughts, try to reframe them in a more positive and constructive manner. For example, instead of saying, "I don't belong here," try, "I'm going to learn so much from this experience." Embracing a growth mindset allows you to view challenges as chances to learn and develop, rather than as threats or obstacles. Sometimes we need a bit more help, and that's okay. Talking to a therapist or a coach can provide you with tools to manage these feelings and see your worth more clearly. So, there you have it. Imposter syndrome is a tough opponent, but it's not unbeatable. It's all about changing the narrative in your head, one positive thought at a time. Remember, you're not alone in this. We're all in this together, figuring it out one step at a time. And hey, you have talent, you are capable, you belong. Alright, that's it for today. Move from feeling like an imposter to embodying true confidence. Discover how by watching my next video and start your journey to self-confidence now.